Hi, it's so nice to meet you. We're at Sneak Peek at the University of Texas. We're students. It's an honor to be able to talk to you today. So, for my first question, I'd like to ask, what was your relationship with Marlee and Shoshana before joining on this film, and why did you decide to come on?
Well, first of all, the funny thing about Marley and Shoshana and myself, we all played the same role. We played Sarah and Norman in Children of a Lesser God. So it's kind of amazing in itself. But Marley, the first time that I became aware of her is when my parents took me to watch her movie. And that was when I was 8 years old. And it was mind blowing to me to see deaf children actually grow up and become adults, because at that time my world, was just other deaf children like myself. So Marley was a huge impact on that awareness. And Marley has always had a huge presence in my life, not directly, probably until just a few years ago, but I remember when I first started acting, I started thinking, what can I do? And Marley and I connected. She made the time to actually talk to me on FaceTime to give me some advice. Same with Shoshana, who is a veteran in this industry.
That's great, and I didn't know that y'all all played the same role. That's so funny. And also, I know you also have something similar with Marlee because y'all both have had historic firsts in your career, with you playing the first deaf superhero and Marlee, of course, winning the Oscar. So, how do you think your experience is different or similar to Marlee's in some ways?
Well, I feel like we do need to remember that when Marley won the Oscar, she was 19. She was barely an adult. And when I got my breakout role, I was already very established as an adult. I already had a strong deaf identity. So I think that was the biggest difference between the two of us. But still, we arrived to the same place. We're here on the red carpet today. And I feel so honored to be in her space. Yeah.
Yeah. So another question I have, I watched a Good Morning America interview that you had where you talked about deaf gain. Would you mind explaining what the concept of deaf gain is and how you found that in this film?
Oh, okay. So deaf gain is the challenging the idea of hearing loss. I've never lost hearing because I never had it, so it's not a loss to me. So I actually see the advantages, the gains of being deaf. I can sleep through any thunderstorm. I can be on a plane and a baby could be crying right next to me, and I'm like, sit down, it's all good, cry away. And there's just points in life where there are perks to being deaf. Sign language is an amazing language in itself. And I think in the film, I feel that the movie really does portray the gain we actually receive from having deaf people behind the camera. For example, Shoshana Stern directing this movie, you can actually see that there were decisions made during the filming process that just, by the way that the camera is set up, the angles that the camera is showing, you could tell that Shoshana was able to explore different angles of signing dialogue that we normally don't see in TV and film. Because normally, people who are not familiar with sign language are afraid to miss anything, to miss a sign. They don't know what signs are critical and what POV is going to be more clear and what's not. So the deaf gain is apparent in this documentary.
Yeah, that's really great. And what do you hope audiences will take away from this movie?
I feel that oftentimes we see deaf people as singular figures in a story, whether it's a TV, oh, there's that one deaf person. Here we are, a movie. There's that one deaf character that makes an appearance. We're not alone. There's a whole group of us here currently. And I think it's time to make space to recognize that.
Yeah, and one final question. So since we are all students about to enter the film industry, what advice do you have for people entering the film industry and how they can be more accommodating to deaf people?
Well, I feel like the most important thing that a person who's breaking into this industry is to learn how to be in the same space with people who are not like them, whether it's somebody who's disabled or somebody who is deaf or only signs, or even from another country who speaks a different language. Be a problem solver, take risks, don't be afraid to mess up.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on the film.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure having a conversation.
Thanks for watching that video. If you want to see more of our South by Southwest content, click on any of the videos over here.